Everything we thought we knew about the dawn of humanity just underwent a massive shift because of a discovery dating back 2.6 million years. Deep within the fossil record, researchers have identified remains that don't just add a new branch to our family tree, they rewrite the entire timeline of how early hominins survived in a prehistoric world. This isn't just another fossil, it's a piece of a puzzle that experts have been trying to solve for decades, and the implications for our own origins are profound. For a long time, the narrative of human evolution was relatively straightforward, but this new evidence from the Paranthropus lineage suggests a far more complex and competitive landscape than previously imagined. We are looking at a species that lived alongside our direct ancestors, yet followed a completely different evolutionary path. But how did they coexist, and what does this mean for the survival of the fittest? The discovery centers on a 2.6 million-year-old fossil that belongs to the genus Paranthropus, a group often referred to as the robust hominins. While our direct ancestors were developing larger brains and more sophisticated tools, Paranthropus was taking a different route. They were the ultimate specialists, equipped with massive jaws and powerful teeth designed to survive on the toughest vegetation the African savanna could offer. Scientists recently uncovered evidence that pushes the presence of these unique individuals much further back in time than earlier data suggested, placing them right at the heart of a critical turning point in history. This specific find is crucial because it provides a rare glimpse into a period of extreme environmental change. Imagine a world where the climate was rapidly shifting, forcing different species to adapt or vanish. This new evidence suggests that Paranthropus wasn't just a side note in history. They were a dominant and highly successful group that thrived for over 1 million years. The question that has researchers gripped is, if they were so well adapted, why are we the ones here today talking about them, while they remain locked in the stone? The layers of sediment where these fossils were found act like a time capsule. By analyzing the surrounding environment, geologists and paleoanthropologists can reconstruct the exact conditions these early hominins faced. It appears that 2.6 million years ago, the landscape was a mosaic of woods and open grasslands. In this environment, Paranthropus developed physical traits so specialized that they became a biological marvel. Their skulls were built like heavy-duty machinery, with a sagittal crest, a ridge of bone on top of the head, to anchor massive chewing muscles. However, the shock to the scientific community isn't just about their appearance, it's about their timing. This discovery proves that multiple species of hominins were navigating the same territories, likely encountering one another. It challenges the lonely species myth, the idea that there was a single linear progression leading to us. Instead, the prehistoric world was a crowded place, filled with different experiments in being human. If you find this exploration into our deep past fascinating, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell as we dive into more historical mysteries that are currently being unearthed. When we look at the data provided by these 2.6 million-year-old remains, we start to see a pattern of incredible resilience. According to peer-reviewed research and reports from institutions involved in the excavation, these hominins were capable of processing foods that other species couldn't touch. This gave them a distinct advantage during seasonal shortages. Yet, this specialization might have been a double-edged sword. While it allowed them to survive in the short term, it may have limited their flexibility when the environment underwent even more drastic shifts. The debate among experts now focuses on the extinction versus evolution paradox. Some argue that Paranthropus eventually reached an evolutionary dead end because they became too specialized. In contrast, our ancestors, the early members of the genus Homo, remained generalists. We used tools and fire to adapt to the food, rather than changing our bodies to fit the environment. This fossil find acts as a mirror, reflecting the different strategies for survival. It forces us to ask, is it better to be the master of one specific niche, or a jack of all trades? As we peel back more layers of this discovery, the narrative becomes even more intriguing. The site of the find has also yielded primitive stone tools. For years, it was assumed that only our direct ancestors were capable of tool-making. But with Paranthropus found in such close proximity, some researchers are beginning to wonder if they too were utilizing technology. If the robust hominins were also tool users, it would completely shatter one of the most fundamental distinctions we use to define what makes us human. This leads us to a broader understanding of our place in nature. We often view ourselves as the inevitable pinnacle of evolution, but the 2.6 million-year-old Paranthropus fossil reminds us that we were once just one of many players on a very crowded stage. Our survival wasn't guaranteed. It was the result of a million small variables, climate shifts, and perhaps a bit of luck. The existence of this other species shows us a path not taken, a version of humanity that was perfectly in sync with its environment, until that environment changed forever. The study of these fossils is far from over. Each tooth fragment and jawbone tells a story of a daily struggle for existence in a world of predators and shifting horizons. By using high-resolution imaging and isotopic analysis of the enamel, scientists can even track the diet and migration patterns of these individuals. We are getting to know them not just as museum exhibits, but as living, breathing entities that walked the same earth we do. But what happened to them? Why did this powerhouse of a species, with its incredible physical advantages, eventually disappear from the fossil record around 1 million years ago? The answer might lie in the very tools and adaptability that our own ancestors perfected. As we look at the end of the Paranthropus line, we see a cautionary tale about the risks of over-specialization in a changing world. The discovery of this 2.6 million-year-old fossil doesn't just fill a gap in a textbook, it fundamentally changes the questions we are asking about our origins. It forces us to look at the failed branches of our family tree with new respect. These were not primitive failures, they were highly evolved survivors who dominated their landscape for an immense stretch of time. Understanding them is the only way to truly understand ourselves. As we move forward, the focus shifts to the next great mystery, the overlap. How did these two very different types of hominins meet at a waterhole or a hunting ground? Did they ignore each other, or was there a deeper level of competition? The answers are still buried in the earth, waiting for the next discovery to bring them to light. If you want to see how these interactions shaped the very first cities and civilizations, you need to look at what happened when humans finally stopped wandering and started building. The story of Paranthropus is a reminder that the past is never truly settled. Every time we think we have the timeline figured out, a new discovery like this 2.6 million-year-old fossil comes to remind us how much we still have to learn. It's a journey of discovery that is constantly evolving, much like the species we study. To understand the full scale of how these early interactions led to the rise of the first great empires, you can watch our other videos where we explore the hidden secrets of the world's oldest civilizations and the mysteries they left behind.